Hi, it's the Rawsome Vegan Gal here, and today I'm going to be reviewing some products from a company called Great Eastern Sun. They actually distribute a family of different products, and I want to thank Mickey, Megan, and Layla for getting me the products that I'm going to be reviewing today. And I'm actually going to be making something here, so that's why I'm in the kitchen here. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be making with the products. So I want to show you the products and talk about them first. So we have here from a brand called Emerald Cove. It's their organic Pacific Nori, and it is kosher, it is non-GMO verified, product verified, it's USDA organic, and it is gluten-free. And this is a package of 10 sheets of nori. So what you do normally with nori is make nori rolls with rice, and I'm actually not going to do it with rice, I'm going to do it with some other vegetables. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about a nori seaweed, and this is a book from Brigitte Mars called Rawsome, and I'll have a link below this video to the book. I'll also have a link below this video to this company and all their products that they carry. So she has in here a raw food encyclopedia, so it has interesting information about different things. So she talks about seaweed here, and she mentions that nori is Porphyra tenera, I don't know how I'm pronouncing it right. It's a low-growing and fragile, and makes its home in shallow waters. It is high in protein, beta-carotene, and minerals. It stimulates circulation and gives short bursts of energy, relieving fatigue and loneliness. And these are actually raw nori, so you know. And very interestingly enough, one sheet actually has a gram of protein, it has 8% vitamin A, it has 4% vitamin C, it has 6% vitamin B2, a little bit of B1 and phosphorus. So it's basically a low-calorie, it's a sodium-free and a fat-free food. And what it says here on the back of the package is that it's originally gathered wild, it's been cultivated in Japan since the 1700s, and today more than 300,000 tons of fresh nori are harvested annually from farms in coastal Japan, Korea, and North China. So how they do it is nets of woven rope are suspended below the surface of the ocean in quiet bays, and during the cold months of winter, the nori slowly grows to cover the entire net. From December to February, the nori is hand-harvested, washed, and placed in frames to dry into paper-like sheets. This low-temperature, slow drying is essential to retain the nutrients. So, and this, they say this is their silver grade organic Pacific nori, has a fine, pliable texture, producing exceptionally smooth and delicious rolls of nori maki sushi. It's a type of sushi that they make. And if you want to toast it, you pass it over a low flame. I'm not going to actually toast it. I'm going to leave it raw. So that is the nori. The next thing is their Umeboshi pickled plum paste. This is from a brand called Emperor's Kitchen. It is gluten-free naturally. It is also certified kosher. So if you don't know what pickled plums are, it's actually just a plum. It's a Japanese plum, actually, Umeboshi. And it's pickled using something called shiso leaves. It's actually a leaf that has a purple or reddish type of color. You can see from the jar it's like a reddish color. So it's actually that color, and that's what gives the color to the plum. And it's just pickled just using sea salt. So it is a pickle. Again, as you know, anything that's pickled has a lot of properties that are good for your digestive system, for your colon health. So, so that is the pickled plum paste. And then the last item here is their organic miso. It's a chickpea miso. I was looking for a soy-free miso to try out, and this is from a brand called Miso Master. It is organic. It is certified gluten-free, it's USDA organic, it's non-GMO product verified, and it's kosher, and there's no yeast added, and there's no soy in here. So if you're a person who just wants to stay away from soy. So it is unpasteurized, so you keep it refrigerated, and it's just made with something called rice koji, which is a way to help make the ingredients break down and ferment. And they use whole chickpeas, sun-dried sea salt, well water, and koji spores. So to tell you a little bit more, it's naturally aged using traditional Japanese techniques, artisan handcrafted koji, and non-GMO verified organic beans and grains. And this company has been making it in America since 1979. Also a little bit more about miso. So chickpea miso, as opposed to a darker miso, it's not aged as long. The chickpea miso is only aged for about 2 to 4 months. And this is good for sauces, dips, and dressings. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to make a spread using the miso, the umeboshi, and also some other ingredients, some tahini, some lemon, to create a paste that I'm going to use on nori and to make nori rolls with vegetables. So these short-term misos, like the chickpea miso, are higher in simple sugars and friendly lactobacillus bacteria, again, good bacteria for the colon health, than long-term misos, and they're sweeter, shorter aged, help to alkalize the blood and promote health and stamina. Another benefit is their lower salt content, making these health benefits available to people on low salt and salt-restricted diets. So as far as the salt content on here, if you were going to use 2 teaspoons, it has 14% salt. Now, if you're making it in a sauce, you're not going to be consuming that much at one time. It's not like you take it on a spoon like you would take a nut butter and eat it like that. It's much too salty. Now, the pickled plums, I didn't mention, that has more sodium too. In 1 teaspoon, there's 19% sodium. Again, you're not eating this out of the jar. I should hope not, but you never know. But it is quite high in sodium. So other than that, it has no calories. So also to tell you about Miso Master, I said it's an American-made company. They use all organic ingredients. It's unpasteurized, protecting enzymes that aid digestion and assimilation. It's a live food too. It provides living lactobacillus culture, just like the probiotic you find in yogurt. It's loaded with genistein. It's a plant isoflavone, effective in preventing and retarding the growth of cancer cells. It's rich in antioxidants with scavenge free radicals that can cause cell membrane damage. So it's got a lot of healthful nutritional benefits. And again, if you don't want to use soy, chickpea is definitely the option. And it's also, of course, vegan. Everything here is vegan. And that, I think, is all I'm going to tell you right now on the Miso Master. And there's lots of different ideas for recipes they give. And again, it can be used for salad dressings, marinades, sauces, dips, and soups. Of course, traditionally, that's what miso is used in a miso soup. And when you would make a miso soup, you actually do not allow the miso to boil, because then it kills the friendly bacteria. So what it is it's simmered on a low temperature once the soup is cooked, and it's added, and it just for a couple minutes to activate the enzymes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an interesting spread. So I'm going to open up our nori too. I did not open up the package yet, and it's a Ziploc package too, so you can reseal it, which is nice. Okay, and so just to show you what the sheets look like, so you see it before I actually make the roll. I can get one out of here. So again, this is an untoasted nori sheet. It looks black. If it was toasted, it would have a greener color. But if you're going to use toasted, I would say it's better to buy it already toasted, because it's really hard to control if you toast it yourself over a flame. Sometimes you burn it, sometimes it's not fully done. So if you prefer the toasted, then you could just buy it that way. So what I'm going to do is I have here some vegetables cut up already, but I want to show you how I'm going to make the spread, or that's going to go onto the nori sheet along with the vegetables. So I'm going to open up the miso here. I haven't done that yet. So let's see how we do this. It says to tear, but there we go. I'm supposed to tear this tab here, and then lift this and tear the other tab. It's got a couple of tabs. So, and then I'm going to show you what the chickpea miso looks like as well. And it's got to take off as an inside cover. Let me get a spoon here to lift that up. An inside little piece of paper, and I can smell it. It's got some miso on it. So this is what the miso looks like. It's got a golden, more of a color, because it has chickpeas. So I'm going to use some of what's on here. So if you're going to make a kind of a sauce or a spread that you want to use for a few days, make it in a jar already that you're going to use. So I'm going to show you here. I have a little small type of a ball mason jar. So I'm making it right in here, so then I could use it afterwards. I could put whatever I don't use on the nori roll. I could use it for future use. And what could you use it on? Just about anything. On a cracker, on a piece of bread, or you make a tortilla wrap, a lettuce wrap, on your salad. If you make it not so thick, if you thin it out, you can make it like a dressing. So this is kind of messy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about, I think I'm going to take about maybe 2 tablespoons of the miso. And I'm going to be adding some other things to it as well. So I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of the miso. Okay, and I'm going to cover that back up. And don't forget, the miso needs to be refrigerated because it is unpasteurized. So do not leave it out once you buy it in the store. And then next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the umeboshi paste. Now that I'm going to use a little less, since now the miso already has salt in it. And it does smell quite salty. So this is what it looks like, the color. So I'm going to take another spoon here. I'm probably going to take about maybe a teaspoon. This is not an exact teaspoon, but I'm just going to kind of eyeball it with my eyes. I'm going to add that to the miso. And now in order to thin it out, you could use water. If you don't want to use water and you want to use something a little different, you could use coconut water. I don't actually have any coconut water, but water is fine. Or if you had a vegetable, if you had a broth from a soup that you made, you can add that to give it a flavor. So what I'm going to add to this is also some tahini. Now this is from a company called Artisana Organics, and I did review their products on my YouTube channel as well, and I'll have a link below. So it's raw tahini, sesame butter, it's USDA certified organic, kosher, vegan, gluten-free. So I'm going to add some of that to our spread that I'm going to make here. Grab another spoon here. And I'm going to take probably about maybe a tablespoon, if I can get it out. It's kind of at the bottom of the jar already, so I don't know if I can measure it exactly, but I'm taking kind of maybe like a heaping tablespoon of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some water to it. Cover my jar up here. I'm going to add some water I have here. A little bit at a time, because as you're mixing it, it's going to thicken up. I'm sorry, not thicken up. It's going to become more like a spread, so we don't want to add too much water where it's too watery, because then you'll have to add more ingredients. So we want to keep it kind of thick, so hopefully I didn't add too much water. Or else what I would do, if you think you added too much water, instead of adding the saltier ingredients, because I think it might be a little too saucy, I haven't actually got it completely mixed up, is I would add more of the tahini, because the tahini will balance out the flavor because it's kind of salty otherwise, but I haven't quite finished mixing it up as yet. So what I'm going to add to this too is some lemon juice. So I have my lemon over here. My lemon here cut already. And I think this piece is already finished, so we're going to grab the other one. And I actually have a little bit of juice in the jar already, so I'm going to try to show you while I'm doing this. Okay. And take out some of the seeds. We don't want any of the seeds in there. So I'm going to squeeze some lemon into here. I can get out the rest of the seeds. So I'm going to squeeze some lemon into here. Oops, hopefully I didn't get a seed in there. I didn't see. So if you like it tangier, add more lemon. And as much as you feel that you want. So it's still in the process of being mixed. So I have to see that it's not too watery, because don't forget it's going to go on the nori sheet, so I want it thicker than thinner. So I think I might be adding some more tahini to make it thicker. So it's getting thicker, but there's still pieces in here, if you could see that. And it does have a nice smell. I can smell the lemon. Now you can add other things to this. If you have fresh herbs, dried herbs, I actually have some poppy seeds I'm going to add into here as well, just as I'm mixing it. Okay, I'm going to add a little more tahini, because I think I might have added a little too much water. So let's see my spoon for my tahini. Now you can also use other nut butters if you prefer. Doesn't have to be tahini. If you like it, almond butter, but it'll be a little sweeter. Cashew butter, walnut butter, pecan butter. The Artisana makes all those. So you can try some of those out. The other thing you could do to kind of maybe thicken this up a little more would be to add, you know, like hemp seeds or ground up hemp seeds. I think now it's getting a little bit thicker. It might still be a little watery. And I wanted it more like a paste than a sauce because I have no rice. I'll have no rice on my nori. It's just going to be this and the vegetables. So what I may do, because I do have some hemp seeds, is I may put sprinkle some of those on first. So it's still not as thick as I would like it, as far as it being too watery. But I'll show you some other things you can put in here to add to it. I have some other things that would be interesting to use. You can use chia seeds. You can use hemp seeds. This is from a company called Navitas Naturals. Also, this is something called yakone. It comes in slices, and it actually is a prebiotic. So it actually feeds the probiotic bacteria. So, and I'll show you what that looks like because I'm going to maybe add a few pieces to it. This is what the yakone slice looks like from the yakone root, which is native to South America. And it's a fruit-like root vegetable that's low in calories, also kosher, organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, raw. So I'm going to take one of those to add. And then some other things you can actually add to the roll when you prepare it is some seeds. I have some seeds here from a company called Go Raw, Freeland Foods. I have their sprouted raw sunflower seeds, and I have their sprouted watermelon seeds, and also their sprouted pumpkin seeds. Now these all have salt in them, so if you want something that's salt-free to add, they also make a simple seed mix. I don't have that to show you. Something else you can add, and I think I'm going to add that to the sauce, is something called tiger nut flour. Tiger nut is also something I reviewed on my YouTube channel. It's actually not a nut, it's a tuber, and it is also organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, vegan, and it has something called resistant starch. It's a prebiotic fiber, so it resists digestion, and this would be good in there because it'll help thicken it up. And again, I'll put links to all the other products that you can use when you're making your roll. So I'm going to add some of this actually to... So we're going to get some more benefits for our digestive system by using that. And also I'll help thicken it up a little because it was a little too watery when I started. So again, be very frugal with the water at first so that it does not get so watery that you have to add other things. Go very gingerly. Maybe put it in a little small cup and pour it slowly. So now it's getting a little bit thicker. I think it's better than it was. Going to add a little more of the tiger nut flour. Another thing you can use if you don't want to use tiger nut flour is also coconut flour. That's another option. And those are all gluten-free as well. So I'm going to add a little more of that and see how it looks now. Okay, that's much better. Because don't forget, like I said, it's going to be a paste more than a sauce. Because there's not going to be anything... A little bit more, just to be sure. Then I'm going to spread that on the nori sheet. So I want to actually use more of it and less of it. Because the thicker the better for our purposes of this, what I'm making. Okay, that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now, and I don't know if you could see it in the video, but I'm going to spread some on the nori sheet right in the middle. And I'll show it to you in just a second. I can't bring the camera over, but I'm spreading it more in the middle of the sheet because that's where it's going to be rolled up. And I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. So here it is on the nori sheet. You can see that. So in the middle, because the middle is where I'm going to roll it, so it really doesn't really make any sense to put it on the ends. The middle is what really matters. So I'm going to add some more, make it a little thicker. Okay, oh, and then I forgot I was going to add some poppy seeds. This is some organic poppy seeds. I'm going to add that on top of the, and that can be added into the spread if you want. So then what I'm going to do is I have some celery cut up here. And if you don't know what celery looks like, I think most people do, but here is my celery. That's some celery. And celery is high in sodium too. It's actually a vegetable where you expend more calories chewing it. It actually than it is. It doesn't really have. So we're going to put some celery in here. Now, since I don't have rice, I'm going to put more vegetables so it gets nice and thick. So when I roll it up and then show you when it's cut, that it actually will hold up because there's not much in here. So the celery. Then next I'm going to add some red pepper that I have already cut. And here's the red pepper to show you. Just so you know what a red pepper looks like. There's the red pepper. And I'm going to add the red pepper slices. And I'll show you what it looks like before I roll it. And then finally I have some jicama here. If you don't know what jicama is, it's a Mexican vegetable. And I'll show you what that looks like. I already have some of it cut. So that's jicama, and that has that outer skin that you take off. You see I peeled it off. It has that skin, and then on top of it, it also has another hard bit that you need to peel off as well before you use it. And let me see if I have any information here about jicama to tell you. Let's see if I look that up real quick. Let's see, jicama with a J, spelled with J, J-I-C-A-M-A. Let me see if it's listed here under vegetables. And poppy seeds are, let's see, poppy seeds contain protein, calcium, and zinc, just in case you didn't know. And let's see if I can find jicama while I'm looking for it with a J. H-I-J. Okay, jicama, yes, it's a root vegetable. A flavor similar to that of a water chestnut, and it's also rich in beta-carotene, B-complex vitamins, vitamin C, calcium, iron, and potassium. So that's good to know. It has some nutritional benefits. So I'm adding the jicama here. And it looks very pretty with the different colors. You can also add carrot, you can add cucumber, you can add avocado. The options are endless. And then with the yacon slices, I'm just going to tear off some pieces and put it in. And again, I'll show you how it looks when it's done before I roll it. And then the other thing I'm going to add to this is I have some sprouts that I made, some broccoli sprouts. So I'm going to put that right on top. And then I'm going to roll it up. So I'll show you how it looks. Here's how it looks before I roll it. If I could get that in the camera. There you can see the vegetables. I'll turn it around this way in case you didn't see them. So now I'm going to roll it up, and I don't know that you can see me rolling it, but what I do is I grab the end and I take the vegetables and push them in so that they're in the center, and I put them in the center to begin with, and then I tuck it under, and then I keep rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. Now at the end, what happens is the end needs a little bit of water to keep it from to seal it up. So I'm going to put a little water on my finger so I can put it in a bowl. We want clean filtered water, so I'm just going to add a little to it and then roll it up so that it sticks, because you want it to stick. So here is the finished roll, and I have some pretty vegetables sticking out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut it. And when you cut it, you want to make sure you have a knife. I have a ceramic knife here. I prefer better than stainless steel because there's no metallic taste to your food. So you want to make sure it's wet. The reason why you want to make sure it's wet is so that things don't stick to it. But the interesting thing is I'm not using rice, so it's not really going to stick. So let's make some interesting cuts here. We're first going to make a regular cut. And then I'm going to make, I should actually be doing this on my cutting board. So let me grab my cutting board over here and transfer that. So I'm going to make some diagonal cuts just to see how it looks. Oops, and it came apart because there's not much into it. So I guess the diagonal cut didn't actually work too well. So here's what it would look like. You see all the pretty ingredients inside. And here I can show you actually a cut just like that. Look how pretty that looks. So there you see the pepper and the celery and the jicama. See how beautiful that looks? So you can be making this yourself. All these kind of beautiful, and here's one cut this way, so you can see the roll. So, and this is great as a snack, as a meal. It could be a meal if you add more things in it that have more substance to them, meaning they're more filling, like avocado. This could be part of your meal, and you make a dipping sauce too. And I use something called coconut aminos, and I'll actually get that out of the fridge. So excuse me for a minute so I can show it to you, because it needs to be kept refrigerated, and I didn't think of that. So this is something called coconut aminos, and you could use that as a dipping sauce. So those are just different ways you could use it. So again, I just want to mention the products that I used for this video. There are the Emerald Cove Organic Pacific Nori, and then the Emperor's Kitchen Umeboshi Pickled Plum Paste, and finally the Miso Master Organic Chickpea Miso. So those are the 3 products that I used distributed by the company called Great Eastern Sun, and I hope you check out all their products and then some of the others that I used to make our wonderful sushi roll with a, I guess I would call it a chickpea miso ume tahini paste or sauce or spread, however you like to call it. So I thank you for watching. It's the Rawsome Vegan Gal.